the Counterattack playthrough series. We're continuing with our playthrough of Ukraine 43. It's still turn 1. We are starting the German player turn. We start with the initial phase where we can place reinforcements and replacements. And I neglected to say in the Soviet player turn, you can do those in any order. Let's look at turn 1 here. For the Germans, they get one special type of unit replacement, one infantry unit replacement, and this security division reinforcement. Let's go ahead and set this stuff up. Okay, first let's place that German reinforcement. So this should be recognizable if you watch the first episode. We're going to go way over here to the German west edge and find a map edge supply source, which would be one of these like crosses. There's a bunch of them along the west and north edge. And we're just going to put it here, west of Kiev. So it has to start in a supply source on the edge. I want it where there's a railroad, and I'm assuming they all have railroads, because reinforcements are able to move by rail during the movement phase. So yeah, that's that. So it's going to travel here. Now for that special replacement, we're down here in the region of the Soviet Southern Front, and I happen to know, based on the rules, that this guy requires special replacements. This is mechanized infantry, but it has this white circle on there that indicates it has anti-tank capability. Basically, it has some Sturmgeschütz units, and that makes it a special unit. So we're going to use the special unit to flip, special replacement to flip this guy back over. I wish I had armor because I have a lot of armor that's damaged. Okay, for the infantry replacement, we're up here at the we'll call it the Kharkov Bulge, and there's a few infantry that are damaged. I think we're going to give this guy the replacement. You can't be disrupted. You have to be in supply. He's in supply. But you know, one issue with replacements is they're not allowed to do combat, and they can only move one hex. I think that'll be okay because that's going to come off at the end of the turn. I also marked the unit down on the Soviet Southern Front with a replacement counter too. I forgot to do that earlier. Okay, time for the movement phase. We're going to move this little guy. By the way, the units that have a blue background on their silhouette, their unit silhouette, they are not allowed to move until enemy units get near. So they're just sort of local security type forces. But yeah, this guy's going to move. We're going to move him by train because otherwise his movement's 3. And you can do extended movement by doing your full move outside of, you know, not coming near enemies, basically. I think that adds a +3 in this game. Every version of this system has slightly different rules, so I'm pretty sure it's 3 in this one. But we're going to train this guy. So we're going to entrain it, and it can follow a railroad, infinite distance. It just cannot basically, you know, stop next to an enemy unit. So I don't really need to follow the path. All these railroads are interconnected right at the moment. I think we're going to bring him down to this area because there's some German, you know, pretty decent German units around here. And I want to use them as sort of like a fire brigade. Probably go up towards Kharkov, which means they're not going to be here to stop any breakthroughs. So I want to have this guy, you know, just kind of reinforce like these towns and cities down here. So maybe we'll drop into this one for starters. So the train marker has to stay on there. Oh, I probably should let you see the whole situation here. Yeah, the train marker has to stay on there. You know, if combat happens, it's not that great, but cool. So all reinforcements can move by train. You kind of just have to remember who a reinforcement was. But you can also move one more unit by train. So you get one unit plus all reinforcements. And this is really the only other unit I want to move. It's on rail. It's another, just like the other guy, has a white background on its defense strength. That means it's green, I guess. So has a negative modifier. And think we're going to send this guy down here too, you know. Southern Front guarded by a bunch of garbage units. That's okay. Maybe we'll go to Lovka. Just kind of preparing for good guys to back out of here. You know, all these guys will probably slowly get pushed back and retreat, and these guys will help form the line. Okay, more movement. So these guys that are disrupted, I want to get rid of those disrupted markers because they're not going to be very good they're not going to be very combat effective while they're disrupted. So later, when we try to remove disrupted markers, if you're in an enemy zone of control, you have to roll a die and have a decent chance of not removing the marker. So I want to back those guys out of the zones of control. But this is actually a scary little movement coming in, so I need to get some units over here to sort of back them up and go into position, So kind of looking around, what do we have here? I mean, we got this armor unit here. We have some minor units there. What else we have around here? This is a very powerful unit, a 12 attack, 10 defense elite unit. It's movement 7, so it might have a hard time getting up there, but I think I'm going to move him up there. And then these guys probably can't get very far, but more, very good. They're high quality, decent attack units, mobile. Get them up there, I think. So maybe we'll see, what can we get over here? If this guy backs off, these guys are just, this is like a good push I did. I'm very proud of myself. So let's see. So this guy, he is mechanized because it's a armor silhouette. Moves half a point per secondary road. So he can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. Let's see. Is this a major river or a minor river? I guess that's a minor river. So 5. And then he can go right in there. 6. Let me make sure that's a minor river. It's kind of fatter than some of the others. Yeah, that's minor. All right. So he's going to slide in right over there. He has to stop moving even if he had more movement points left. All right. So that allows this guy to back off. Now when you're disrupted, you can't use normal movement. You have to use a different kind of movement called tactical movement. Anyone can use tactical movement. But tactical movement, you basically ignore terrain costs, but you can only go 2 hexes. So since it's disrupted, use tactical movement. I think we're just going to back off 1 hex though. Get behind this river, and now he's potentially able to not be disrupted, or guaranteed to not be disrupted. Now one thing we haven't covered yet is that, and it's because the terrain cancels it, is that if a unit attacks with a tank against someone that doesn't have a tank, or vice versa, if you're defending with a tank against an attacker, I believe, you get a shift. It's called the tank bonus. And it can be canceled by having another tank, right? So if this guy attacked here, he can't have the tank bonus because this counts as, the oval is armor, so it's canceled out. But it's a cool little thing the Germans have. They have Tiger tanks. Tiger tanks, their attack is indicated in yellow. That means no matter what, you get the tank bonus. So I'm inclined to get this guy joined over there, but I might not be able to get that far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. Great. Okay. I'm going there because I kind of see these guys kind of coming in here and then both of them teaming up on him to break out this way, since there's no river, right? So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Now here in Kharkov, I still have an anti-tank gun, which basically you use to cancel out the tank bonus of someone that has a tank. So thinking about where that might go. Some more maneuvering around here. So I want to slowly collapse the bulge here, right? But I don't want to do it too fast. So this guy, though, he's wounded. I think what I want to do is you can always move from a zone of control to another zone of control. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move this guy in here. Germans, incidentally, they can stack 3 units with a free unit. So for potentially 4 units, unlike the Soviets. So he'll go in there. That leaves a Zoc bond between these 2 guys here. So I haven't really harmed anything. And I'm inclined to pull this guy off the line, right? Because there'll be a Zoc bond here. Where's he going to go? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think woods are free, basically. They just cost 1. Yep. So I think he's going to come back to here. Wait a minute. Before we do that, let's pull this guy back for 1. Actually, when I say 1, it's because I'm using tactical movement. But to leave his zone of control actually costs 2. But tactical movement, you don't worry about it. So this guy will go 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now remember this little anti-tank guy? I think I'm gonna bring him up with this armor unit. Not so much because it's an anti-tank unit, but just to get a little more oomph onto the defense of that unit. Gives it a 10. So for the Russians to get 2 to 1, you know, they need 20 attack strength, and you know, it's definitely doable, but you know, it's harder than getting 16 attack strength. So what else we got around here? This guy here, man, he is not looking pretty. So I'm inclined to back him off. So let's see. He's in an enemy zone of control. And he's going to be out of supply pretty easily too. So I think he's just going to go to zone of control, move. You know, I'm giving up some territory, but I'm still in the fortification band. Now this guy's a problem. He is across a river, 5 defense, doubles to 10, but 1 hit and he's dead. So we need someone to come up, move up to him. I think it's gonna be this guy here. Hey, sorry for this filming, by the way. Just this game's kind of big. It's hard for me to film just the way I have it set up. So I'm using some kind of camera boom. It's a little awkward. So this guy moves 7. So it's he's on a secondary road. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Am I not going to be able to get up there? 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7. Whew. Okay, so he gets up here. Now we got 10 double to 20. This guy, he'll back off. Maybe he'll back off. Oh, I don't have a Zoc bond here, so these guys can move in. Maybe he'll go tactical movement over here and join this guy. So all right, I feel like I've shored that up a little. I don't like having the 2 hexes next to each other here. And sorry, you can't even see what I'm talking about. There's 2 hexes next to each other here, so there's no Zoc bonds here. So I got this guy over here. At least there's a bunch of zones of control, but nothing stops this guy from coming into one of those hexes. Okay, more moves. I don't think I want to move anyone around here, but I want to get like I said, like a little fire brigade going here. So this guy just received replacements. He can only move 1. I'll just move back a little. And then this guy that was with him, he's going to move a little bit. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Just moving up a little. These 2 guys, they're both 7s. I think I'm going to move them up farther. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe just right here. The idea is I'm just trying to get them, you know, somewhere where they can help counterattack when there's a breakthrough. There's not a lot of depth at all in this game right now. Maybe that'll change. And then this little guy here. So, you know, it doesn't look like the Germans are going to attack. Maybe I'll find something for them to attack. But this guy here, he's not doing a whole lot. Now, Russians would really like to come down through here, right? I don't want to give them an opportunity to attack, you know. I like this is Zoc bond preventing them from coming this way. I'm sure this guy's going to get hammered. You know, I might beef this guy up, actually. So he'll just slide in there. 13 defense, unlikely to be attacked. Or maybe at 2 to 1, but we'll see. That's all the German moves. Yeah, looking around, I don't think I'm in a position to do any combat. I think my thinking right now is, and I'm no grand strategist, I need to wait for something to materialize. I need like the Soviets to get a breakthrough, and that's when I will move and counterattack. But right now it's early. So these train markers, they stay on, but we're now in the recovery phase. So we do recover from replacements. Okay, and let's see what else we got up here for recovery wise. This guy replacement marker removed. And then units that are not in an enemy zone of control and in supply, and in supply, are no longer disrupted. I think that is everybody. Looking around, I swear there's more disrupted Germans, but I guess not. Or maybe there should have been, but there aren't. Supply phase, everyone's still in supply. I'm not even going to bother pointing things out. The only iffy area was a little bit up here, but it's all remedied, so don't worry about it. Now we determine victory. So, not until turn 7, it looks like, is it possible for the Soviets to lose or win, or yeah, it doesn't matter for a while. So, hey, that was a quick second video. Stay tuned for turn 2.